Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 590, continuing our playthrough with the Ranger this week. Let's dive on in, see if something cool turns up. And so, interesting start, I guess. This looks like one that we can just afford everything in. I'm getting so good at just looking at this opening screen and doing all this math. Or I look at this 11 gold worth of things. The regular followers out there will know what a stretch it is for me to pull that kind of mathematics off. But I went ahead and grabbed everything on sale. The next question is, do we really want this pocket sand in this shell? There's no build that the Ranger does to where I actually want those at the end of the day. But it's like, do we really want to risk giving up the hearts early? And if we do give them up, what are the chances that we win off of these things? And I don't think that the pocket sand or the shell are really going to help. And so I'm just going to leave them in the bag. It's kind of an unfortunate situation to go into round one only spending 7 gold, right? You're only using 50% of your resources on the first turn, and you almost always lose. But I just don't think either of these items are worth it. And hopefully we don't lose out on too many rounds, at least just the first round, But at least we have the kind of start you would like to see out of an initial kind of round. We got a second weapon. We got a bit of sustain with the onion and the health potion, and so we might be able to do it. It looks like we might be taking this guy down. And cool, we did it. Bad start doesn't get punished. Let's move on forward. And so, more interesting stuff. We have the potential to make a shovel with the pan here. I'm not a huge fan of the shovel with the Ranger, but at this kind of early stage, it's not horrible, especially as we don't have a ton of ways to start upgrading this wooden sword, as I see the whetstone down here now. But I'm kind of okay with that. Otherwise, I do like the healing herbs with the Ranger. I find that with a lot of Ranger builds, you want to be coming out and building the Hungry Blade. You can't see it here, but the Hungry Blade gets upgrades spending those hearts, and whether or not you're going towards magic or maybe going towards thorns, having access to those hearts is quite good. And then at the end of the day, you can just merge it into a health potion if that's what you need. And so I'm typically on board with it. I think the question here is, I'm going to take the pan, I'm going to take the healing herbs. It's, do we want to take the whetstone as well and potentially make a hero sword type of thing? And I think I'm okay with that. We do have the money to make these big investments since the first round went so swimmingly. And so let's get these up here and up and running. And so the way I'm going to do this is we're looking to just pull the wooden sword. We don't have any room for it in our bags anyways, but our stamina's kind of fucked at this point. We're going to upgrade to the shovel, and then I don't want to upgrade the health potion. And so let's leave that ticked off. So I keep seeing this pan, thinking of the foods. I spilled so much tuna on my crotch. So that's where you all thought this was going. That was the sentence you all expected to be hearing today. I spilled so much tuna on my crotch. But I was making tuna salad, and I dropped a can like right in my crotch zone, and all that tuna juice got soaked up into my undies and stuff. But I just never changed, and I kind of forgot about it. And now I just keep getting like whiffs of tuna, and I'm like, that's me. That's my crotch right there. And so that's what I keep getting. I keep getting a nice whiff of as we're out here building up with the pans. That cooking thing makes me remember how great my life is. But moving forward, what do we have going on here? Another interesting set of stuff. And so I've been building towards some thorns builds with the Ranger that I've actually been quite happy with. I like this thorn bloom within the Ranger. The big thing with this is you get so much scaling out of the thorn bloom, in the sense that it's generating thorns on its own, which means it can, scaling attack by itself without doing anything else. But it gets these side synergies with the gain of empowered, and with the gain of empowered, you can pick it up off of the carrots or carrot goobert. And I've just found that there's like a lot of things that you just kind of generally want from the Ranger in terms of like having the gooberts around or having the carrots around. They kind of work nicely. And so I'm a little bit interested in picking up this walrus tusk to see what we can do in terms of thorns. But we are going to run into this problem here, as to where we kind of want the walrus tusk for that idea. We kind of want the gloves of haste if we're going to make a falcon blade out of this wooden sword. We kind of want this banana just for the early game sustain, and then we also need bag space. And so it's like we have 11 gold. We would like this 11 gold of stuff over here on the left, but I just don't think that we can purchase it all right now. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the walrus tusk go. We don't really need it in terms of going after a thorns build, and so I'm going to pick up the gloves of haste. I'm going to pick up the banana. I'm going to take a roll. I'm going to say should either hit a 3-slot bag or a 3-cost bag in the fanny pack, or if we have to sell something to pick up a 4-slot bag, fine. But the fanny pack turns up, we'll make the most out of it here. Let's see. So what I'm going to end up looking to do, I want to get the shovel within the main bag. I want to get it in the fanny pack, and then we're going to have the gloves pointing on the shovel and the garlic. We'll see if we can't make that happen. I need to come out like this. Let's go long ways across the whole board. Is that how it wants to be? I don't think there's a way for us to get both the let's actually do it like this. We can get this banana in here. I was gonna say I don't think there's a way for us to get the whetstone lined up on everything, right? With the way our bags are kind of situated here, and so I'm gonna just leave it pointing down on the shovel. Now the question here will be is do we want to go with the healing herbs, or do we want to go with the health potion? Probably just go with the health potion, right? It's going to heal for 12. I don't even know if 12 heal is better than the healing herbs. Getting basically 1 health per second. So if we go to fatigue, the healing herbs would be better. If it doesn't go to fatigue, the health potion would be a little bit better. Let's just stick with the health potion. That poison cleanse might be a little bit useful as well. Alright. Just stop and take another peek. Breathe in the tuna. Soak it all up. Alright, man. This guy's moving. He's getting his burning sword on like round 3. Good job for you, Pyromancer. But we'll see if our sustain can hold up. It looks like we're falling behind. We can't DPS down this goober fast enough. Man, that was a strong place to be. But alright, more decent stuff turning up. There's a health potion, which is fine. Another healing herbs, okay. The carrot's what I'm mainly interested in here. And we just gotta find more bags, though. And so I think I'm going to pick up the carrot. I'm going to pick up the potion. Take another roll. We got a 4-slot bag turning up. We can sell off this shiny shell that the shovel made for us. And then put a lock-in on this whetstone. We can look to upgrade to the hero sword after this round. And so let's get this nonsense in the bag, am I right? Get the carrot in here. I guess we can do it like this. So we'll get the extra activation out of the health potion at the cost of losing a upgrade point on this banana. Seems reasonable. Still leaving the healing herbs at home. Alright, cool. Yeah, as I go on about the tuna salad, I always get reminded of the 40-year-old virgin. I love the quote so much when they ask Andy what he did for the weekend, and he goes on his big tirade about making egg salad. How he got all the accoutrements, the paprika, and then he made all of his sandwiches, put it all together, and then he didn't have any bread. Poor guy. I love that movie so much. It's been so long since I've seen it. It's like I used to watch it like once a year. But then it hasn't been on Netflix. Like, I have it on my Plex account. It's not a hard thing to find. But if it's not, like, actively visible, you don't see it. I feel like I watched Talladega Nights, like, 3 times this year, though. And that's been the kind of big makeup point, is watching Ricky Bobby instead. But let's see. How do we want to move on? I'm on board with blueberries. Definitely want the whetstone. I'm going to pick up this holy armor. This on-sale holy armor is something I'm definitely into, but again, we need that bag space, and so I'm going to take the whetstone, take the blueberries. I'm going to leave the holy armor on reserve, take a roll. We got another 4-slot bag up here. Good stuff. And so we do need to rearrange a little bit. We want to get this whetstone up and running. I'm still going to keep both whetstones down onto the shovel. And now this is kind of nice. Like, we're really close to this falcon blade coming off of the gloves of haste. It's definitely a good place to be. The thing with me here is, you know, I would like a little bit more direction in terms of what we're doing, right? If we're going towards like a thorns based build, we can't do it like off the buckler and off of the what's it called, like the walrus tusks, because we haven't really had too much of that come together. Like the carrot goobert is nowhere to be found. The thorn stuff just isn't here. I would ideally have a spiked shield at this point. We can still go for it, but it's not, you know, really evident. After that, we're not quite lined up to be going towards mana builds, right? We haven't found a mana orb at this point. We haven't upgraded our short sword into a torch and tried to make it into a magic torch. Like, the things there are kind of off base. And so I'm not entirely certain where this build is going to go. What, like, in the back of my head, what I feel like this points itself towards is just like going towards food. That feels like a kind of generic build that you can just take to the survival round and be okay. But I guess at least the upside we have here is we have a nice base in that we're very close to this falcon sword. We're very close to just having, you know, reasonable early game foods, and as soon as something just kind of pops up, we have the flexibility to pivot towards a build. We just don't have any of these, you know, super high rolls right from the start to where it becomes super evident as to what you're going to do. So let's move on. I am not opposed to a Cap of Resilience, but to me this is more of a late game item. I like that it's on sale. That's why I'm calling it up here. Save that 3 gold on an item that we're definitely going to get, but I'm a little bit more interested in finding bag space and finding direction. And so we'll regret not having the cap later, but I feel like we just need a little bit more help in the immediate. We should be okay here, though. This guy's build doesn't do anything. We're just fighting against the single broom. I think we can take this down no problem. Our health is starting to dwindle, but we haven't used any of the health potions yet. Alright, there it goes. Get that takedown. Alright, so cool. What do we got? Interesting stuff. We have the heroic potion turning up. And so if we do find a thorn bloom, we still can go for the thorns-based things. And then if we, you know, need to pivot into, say, like a big bow-based build or something, we can still do that as well. And so I think we definitely want this heroic potion. We're definitely taking the gloves of haste to make the falcon blade off of this round. And then not quite enough money to really push further, I think, and so we'll stop there. The falcon blade's always mega awkward to get up and running on this round, getting these gloves set up within the bag, but I think that's okay there. I don't think we need to put the heroic potion in. I haven't quite paid enough attention on the matter, but I don't think that we were running out of stamina, and so I'm just going to leave it out of the bag at this point. I mean, I guess if we wanted to, we could do one of these to where we get the heroic potion underneath the health potion, but I feel like our stamina wasn't a problem. I don't know if we're double glovesing on this hero sword, is it going to attack fast enough? I guess we'll find out. We'll stick to it this way. It's like I feel like we would have just gained more health off of the onion anyways. Alright, well, it seems like our stamina's draining, so we'll get at least some usage out of it. Well, it didn't. It never hit. It never popped. It's like now we're gonna fucking die because we couldn't drain our stamina enough. That's a bummer. I'm pretty certain we would have won that round if we'd left the onion in. As close as it got, we would have gained like 12 armor or 15 armor off of the onion. That's a bummer. All right, whatever. Dumbass game. Get in here and just start talking trash about the game. It's not stuff we do. It's the fucking game's fault. But all right, let's pick up the bag. There is the first wooden buckler here. I just kind of feel like the ship has sailed on that idea. The Goobert turning up now as well with the Thorn Whip. Now I guess this is it. I guess is the symbol that we can go for this Thorns based build. Let's go ahead and move over to that and see what we can do. And so we need the Thorn Whip. We want to pick up this Goobert. I'm going to take the Goobert and turn it into a Carrot Goobert if we can. Let's just go ahead and sell an onion to make sure that, or actually we can sell off this lump of coal to make sure we can do everything on the round. And then we're going to need to do a bit of a bag refresh here. These are a touch annoying in the sense that this Thorn Whip takes a little bit of work to get up and running in the bag space. So we can get the Thorn Whip in here. It's across the only speed bag we have. We'll get the Heroic Potion up top. Get our Falcon Blade up next to it. Get those extra swings zooming in. And then what I like to do with the... Shit, I was going to say, we lost that armor. I reserved it once and then forgot about it, so it went away. What I like to have this kind of set up as is we'll have our weapons over here to the left of the Goobert. We'll upgrade it whenever we can to Carrot Goobert. Off to the right, I just like having a shield and having an armor. And so it's just picking up all those big activations without too much work. Doesn't, we don't have any of those things at the moment, so we can't quite do it, but that's what I have in mind. So at least at this point, we'll get some of these foods running over here next to the Goobert, and then fill out whatever we can on the other side. All right, so let me see. I'm curious if we aren't better served setting the Goobert out to the right, kind of this way, so that we can just make a little bit better usage out of some of this space. Like I kind of want to get these health potions up and running in the bags. We just weren't quite able to do it otherwise. God, what an annoying ass space to be in here. Good, just do it like this. Just lose the one slot this way. Alright, I think that's a little better. We'll probably stamina out this round, and so the Heroic Potion will lose out a little bit, but I think this is okay. Get these healing herbs in here. I think that'll be fine. It's a nice start towards where we want to be. The carrot in. Got the 3.5 speed foods up next to the Goobert. Alright, let's jump in. It's coming together a little slow. Look at all this guy's bananas. It's Banana City over here. Okay, I'll feel a little better after this round, I think. I think we're going to take down our banana friend. He's a turn away from his pandemonium upgrading, so we caught him at a pretty good time. We made it through. Now, one of the things I'm also interested in here is, we have this Falcon Blade, but we're not really using it at this point, right? You don't want to be putting potions on it. We don't want to put like armors and shields on it, and so we will want to wrap some of this food down here next to the Falcon Blade, but our bags are a little bit fucked at this point to be able to pull that off. And so, as we are building towards the thorns, I'm happy enough to go with Poison Ivy. It does give you some incentive to build a little bit more poison into the build. So if we pick up, say, like a poison potion and pop that off a couple times, try and get up to the 18 poison, but it's not really locked in. I'm not certain with this kind of build if we wouldn't rather just go for the piercing arrows. Because it is a big deal hitting that 18 poison for the 25% bonus damage, but I'm not super worried about inflicting these poisons, right? We'll gain like 10 thorns across the course of a battle, deal 20 poison. It doesn't feel spectacular as there's a lot of ways to kind of cleanse the debuffs. I'm not certain if we shouldn't just be going for the Hunter's Arrow and getting that extra damage coming out of the Falcon Blade, coming out of the crits and stuff there. And so, as I've done this build in the past, I've typically gone for the Poison Ivy, but let's take the arrow here and see if we feel any different about it after this round. So we got, let's see here, we're going to have more More fanny packs turning up. Let's purchase through this stuff real quick and see what pops up. We can sell the shovel as well. Pick up the banana. See if we can't find some more bags. So here, looking at the acorn collar, we're not going to do anything with the hungry blade at this point. With the falcon blade and the thorn bloom, our mana is just set, and so don't need it. Thing I'm looking for here is like we need our offense is good, right? We've got our thorn bloom, we've got our falcon blade. We don't need that anymore. I'm really just looking for defensives at this point, and so I'd like to get that shield armor combo out here to the right of the Goobert, so that we just have those activations churning. I want to get the second carrot to upgrade the Goobert into the next level Goobert, and then after that point, right, once we get those armors and stuff, we're just filling out, right? I'm kind of okay with adding in the rabbit tiger, whatever the fuck that thing is called, that just generates all of the that generates all of the keywords. Like anything we can do to generate empowered really helps, and so. We'll look towards that. I'm not opposed to picking up something like like just a touch of vampirism, but we'll see if that comes about. Those aren't the like really big ads that we're looking for here. Let's see. So we can get our attack speed bags happening over here. That looks fine. We have a way to get both attacks onto the... Yeah, that'll look good. Do we have any more space to the right? All right, perfect. Because, yeah, we're just going to be putting those 2 hex armors out to the right when it comes down to it, so that space looks pretty reasonable. I think we can activate everything off of the piercing arrow here. Yeah. All right, these things are starting to come together. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and start healing, herbing up these health potions. We're not going to need those for anything else as far as this battle goes. Oh, we got the acorn collar. Definitely don't want to miss out on that. It's not super exciting at this point, I guess. It's going to be good, right? We want to be hitting criticals as often as we can with the piercing arrows, so we're certainly going to take it. It's a matter of, is there a... I don't think there's a spot we can get both of the... Hang on, how does this look with the thorn bloom? This has such an awkward signature. I don't think that there's a way for us to get both the falcon blade right. Okay, let's go back. This is fine enough. So like, do we even want it at this point if it's not going to fit? Like, are we going to have a better way to come in and just generate hearts? And let's just roll. I don't know. It feels kind of bad skipping past that, but let's just skip past it for the moment. Now, here I am interested in the oil lamp. We'll see how we can fit that in. Alright, let's just do this for the moment. Seems reasonable. We can get the banana in after this round. Yeah, it's like I know that I need the scaling out of the oil lamp, but it just feels like the things that we really need to find at this point are the defensives. I'm going to let it go. We should have another one turn up before it's all said and done. What is this guy doing? He's got the vampiric thing with the manas. Interesting. Seems like we're okay. He hasn't gotten the health potions to pop just yet. They went about halfway through the battle there. Right, cool. What else do we got? Don't need any more Gooberts. Don't want the cap. Take a roll. Finding bags is good. Do have the cheap acorn collar turning up at this point. I'm not opposed to picking it up. I mean, even just getting the upgrade onto the thorn whip thing is not horrible deal. So let's go ahead and snatch that up, take another roll, and then we've got a pestilence flask. Get a little bit of that poison up and running. I think it's fine. Like, I'm not certain what the break point is in terms of really getting these like these poisons running, but I think this is okay. Let's just go big with the damages on that. And we can do something like this. Alright, I think we're okay. Like, I did mention wanting to maybe pick up a dagger. Like, I don't think we want the dagger along with the Pestilence Flask, but maybe that is the way to do it. It gets us that third item out here in front of the Piercing Arrow. We can then use the Acorn Collar onto 2 separate things. Let's add it in. I should have been watching like how much poison we're dealing through these rounds. Let's see how much it stacks up. Is it 2? Well, this is a... No, it's not the cleansing mage. It's not the holy mage that has the thing that just clears all the debuffs. We only got up to 6 on the round, but not particularly impressive. All right, whatever. Pick up the potion belt. Pick up the dagger. I don't think there's any real reason to roll beyond this point if we're just going to roll and then not be able to spend the money. So let's skip past that. I do want to... Right, so this is where we're looking to go, is to get this third item out in front of the piercing arrow on the damage side. I think we can shift everything down and still fit this potion bag up top. Why not? I don't want to get too invested in the potion bag. It's like we're just using it to pick up like 1 buff. Let me we'll just move away from that. It's not gonna fit how we want. Just use it for the expensive bag space. All right, reasonable enough, I guess. I don't love it, but I'm not seeing any outright ways that we're gonna, rearrange these bags and get the Pestilence Flask up and running at this point. I think it's okay. The thing I'm kind of curious about is if we even care about that crit damage coming onto the dagger. If we wouldn't rather just give it one of these to where it's doing the activations off of the piercing arrow, but then also touching the falcon blade to give us that chance to strike in with more poisons and maybe get up to that 25% damage a little faster. Okay. It's making such poor usage out of this falcon blade. Yeah, this entire row of stars that we're just completely not using. Yeah, you see with the poisons this guy, we've got him all the way up to 2. He'd say, look out, fam, we got you up to 4 poison at the end of the day. That's why I don't think we had. Well, I guess I'm not looking at that in the correct way, in the sense that we took the piercing arrow that doesn't generate the poisons, and so we didn't even need these at all, did we? I've been going on about these poisons for like the past 10 minutes, and they don't even do anything. Fuck me. Fuck me. All right, here's some serious upgrades though. Got the first line of defense in the Shield of Valor. This will I think we can use this and start wrapping these foods back around towards the wrap them back around towards the Falcon Blade where they need to be. All right, we can do a setup a little bit like this that gets us a touch closer to getting those stars underneath the Falcon Blade. Not really doing anything with this acorn collar. That's kind of fine. All right, so not bad, right? The items are starting to get around here to where we want. Whew. He's talking about poison for like the past 15 minutes. It's distracting. I got all this tuna on my crotch. Baby's back here just howling. He's in good shape. He just fucking grunts a lot. it's it's apparently a thing that happens when babies come out a little early. They just grunt instead of crying, and so he sits back there and he's going, uh. It's so that's what I have to contend with now. All those extra grunts just happening in the background. But all right, what can we do here? I'm interested in these tigers. It's nice that they give you the stamina regen as we are running out with our Thornbloom Falcon Blade. It also, if we're going with the thorn, or I'm sorry, if we're going with the leaf, the poison ivy, it does let you gain thorns, which turn into poison, and then it does the empowered, which is what we're really looking to build into here, right? Having these empowereds give us the extra maximum health, and so I'm fine enough to add it in. I'm a little more interested in this oil lamp, though. Curious how we can play this all out. Like, I want to get this Whoopin' Tiger in, like, in this spot right here, to where it's hitting the Falcon Blade and hitting the Goobert. I guess that's okay. Let's just go ahead and snatch it up. Not going to buy any more acorn collars. We're not using the ones we have. Put the reserve on the oil lamp. Okay. Okay. Not perfect, but it's something. Wrap these garlics around the Shield of Valor a little better. Get that full 4 armor whenever it activates. Did we pass on a mana orb? I think we might have. I do want to get the mana orb onto the shield, turn it into the magic shield. Oh, that dude just popped. That dude just hit a million buffs. Where did that shit even come from? It was like he had no buffs, and then right at the end he said, like, "Pow! Here's a fucking million." Where did that happen? What is that? Like, if we look at his log, right down here at the end, he's got like 100 buffs on the screen. I don't know what popped. Maybe it hit and I just didn't notice. Like, he's got a bunch of mana. I don't know. It's just the mana and then getting the increasing. Looks like he procced a bunch of heat off of the cauldron. Oh. All right, man. I had higher hopes for this one, and then we're just out here getting zinged right at the end. But let's take some of these upgrades, I guess. We've got the armor. Glad to add that in. I think we need to take the bag at this point, and then we'll kind of circle back to seeing if we can't get this oil lamp on board. So maybe just a small one like this. Get this this acorn collar out here just doing fuck all, but this is at least, it lets me stop to show you, like, this is kind of what I want this build to be looking like. We'll talk about it more at the end, but this is the kind of general outlook you're going to have with this build. Is ideally the Goobert would be a carrot Goobert. It's on the armor and the shield, getting those activations off of the carrots, and then off on the other side we have kind of our DPS suite centered on the Thornbloom out here, generating the empowereds. And so we'll see how it goes from here. We only have 1 heart left. Things haven't gone perfectly up to this point, but let's see if we can't turn it around up against the old Frost Dragon. The fire armors and the Frost Dragons coming at you. Looks like we're getting zinged. We're getting blown up here. Need some big crits at the end of the day. Nope. Need some big crits at the end of the day as our opponent blasted us for 106. And so yeah, we can talk about this a little bit more. Like, again, I'm not certain what I prefer in terms of the subclass item whenever this kind of build comes together, as to where we went for the Hunter's Mark, the Hunter's Piercing Arrow this game, getting the crit damage and then also with some minor activations, but I'm not certain if it's better than just going for the poison ivy, in the sense that um, at this point, I don't think our opponent has any buff shred, but we would have had like 14 poison on him, which would have done a reasonable amount of DPS. We wouldn't have spiked up to that 25% damage mark, but it might have done like an extra 40 or 50 damage. While not enough to clear out this opponent, it could have got us, like one hit away from getting the finish. And so I'm not certain how I entirely feel about that. If we would rather this piercing arrow, or if we would rather have a what you called the poison ivy. But after that, the real kind of like gist of the build is here. It didn't come together entirely how we wanted, but I like to have the carrot goobert out here. The carrot goobert generates the empowereds. The empowereds give us bonus health off of the thorn bloom, so we have a nice amount of sustain. Out here to the right side, I like having the Holy Armor and the Shield of Valor. We look to upgrade both of these to the magic versions if we can. And then the big build around is, of course, the Thorn Bloom. You don't have to go for the Falcon Blade. We'll often have whatever the other thorns-based item is called, the one that turns into Mana Thirst, the base item. It pairs off with the Thorn Bloom well. And so that's the kind of general idea that we take with this build, is the Thorn Bloom is the real the real centerpiece to the build, generating the thorns and then generating the extra health off of the empowereds. The empowereds then work with the things like the carrot goobert and such. But a lot of this build just did not come together. In the sense that we only saw one carrot the entire run, so we weren't able to update the goobert. We didn't get our armors until fairly late in the game, and we didn't have a lot of good direction until we hit the mid game there. And so I'm happy with how we played it. I liked how we had ourselves like nice and open there coming into the mid game. We got a little bit behind in terms of finding some of these items. But I think this is still like a nice generalist kind of build that can pivot out into this Thorns build, which I think is decent. It can pivot out into mana builds. I think it's a very interesting way to approach the Ranger, just starting off easy with this Falcon Blade kind of thing and then keeping our options open as things go on. Nonetheless, good stuff. I had fun with that. I hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. So hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way. You had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.